Hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday. And on behalf of Alloy Software, welcome to today's webinar. We're very excited to show you the new Navigator and all the great things coming your way. There has never been a better time to be an Alloy Navigator customer. My name is Ed, and I'm one of Alloy's solutions advisors. I specialize in aligning our customers with the proper solutions and also working with them to understand their constantly changing needs. Corey and Christine are with us as well. Corey is one of our seasoned product experts from the technical services team, specializing in making sure our customers get the very best out of our solutions.
Hello, everyone. Looking forward to showing you what we've been working on.
Thanks, Corey. And like me, Christine is on our solutions team, making sure our customers have everything they need to be successful. She'll be fielding questions and comments during the webinar. She's off screen and off mic moderating today, but she says hi. Thank you, Christine. If you all look in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see a message box where you can send us your questions. We'll try our best to handle the questions in the order they are received, so submit them at any time. If we can't get to your questions during the webinar, we'll answer them in the Q&A session at the end. Any messages you submit to us are only visible to us unless we share them with the group. So if there's anything you want to be kept private, just say so. Also, keep in mind, feature requests and information about your challenges are always welcome. Everything we do is centered around your needs, and our solutions are built almost entirely from direct customer requests. For instance, in this update, we listened carefully to what you asked for and worked hard to deliver on your expectations. You asked for a stronger and more efficient web offering, so we've streamlined the technician's web portal with usability improvements and a collection of new functionality. You told us you and your team are constantly on the go, so we've improved our mobile app to include Google and App Store support and push notifications so you'll always be up to date wherever you are. You also wanted a better way to manage your projects and networks visually. We added Gantt charts that show the relationship between your critical tasks and a network diagram which provides a powerful picture of how all of your devices are connected. These are some massive improvements that will no doubt have a positive effect on the way you and your team provide service. But this isn't all. You can expect additional webinars in the near future designed to highlight other notable improvements. So without further delay, let's dive into the new Navigator. But before we jump in, just so that you all can see the technician's portal fully, Corey and I will hide our cameras, but don't worry, you'll see us again during the Q&A session. The technician's web portal is a one-stop shop for everything IT. This is where IT resolves customer issues, understands installed software on workstations and servers, recognizes infrastructure changes that might affect critical systems, and much more.
And logging in is seamless with Windows authentication, single sign-on. So there's no fiddling with accounts and passwords. And there's also no client software to install, so upgrades are super fast too.
The dashboard looks and feels extremely smooth, with softer colors and a cleaner layout, which makes it more efficient and satisfying to use. You'll notice that the dashboard widgets now have a refresh symbol. In the new Navigator, dashboards automatically provide you with updated information. This ensures you'll always be looking at the most recent data and making the best possible decisions. It also means that managers can now easily stay up to date with their team's activity. You may even consider mounting that big screen TV in your service desk area to display critical KPI measurements in real time.
And keep in mind, you can create an unlimited number of dashboards, and you can assign them to whoever you'd like. So how you use them is completely up to you. You can easily leverage the mini dashboard widgets that come with Navigator, or you can choose from up to 10 different types to create your own, including charts, tables, statistical counts, activity alerts, and much more.
To maximize usability, other aspects of the interface have also been improved, such as toolbars, the navigation sidebar, grid views, and preview pane. The sidebar now has a new look with upgraded icons and color-coded areas. You can also search the sidebar if you're unsure where the item you're looking for is located. Grid views now have a cleaner design, and we've added profile pictures of requesters, assignees, managers, and other people in your organization. This creates a much more personable experience and ensures higher level of customer service. Studies even show that seeing the person you're working with humanizes the situation, which improves quality of the interaction.
Navigator automatically imports pictures of your company's employees from Active Directory, so it doesn't require any extra configuration. In addition, these pictures will also show in outgoing email, so end users will see who they're communicating with.
The redesigned preview pane has become even more of a time saver. Simply highlighting items in the grid will give you a restyled and information-rich display. You no longer have to open up a form just to find something as simple as the end user's phone number. Depending on your phone system, you can even launch a call directly from the preview by simply clicking on the phone number.
And as a side note, these preview panes are fully customizable. So if you'd like to add information or change the look and feel, you can do just that. To add a field, you simply insert a placeholder with the click of a button. You can also redesign the preview pane using HTML and CSS.
The new Navigator also includes game-changing functionality updates. If you've ever needed to update the category value of 100 incidents, you know that opening each record and changing the value one by one can be very time-consuming. Now you can make quick work of that challenge by simply selecting multiple items and using batch update. You can also perform tasks in batches as well. Let's say you wanted to assign multiple incidents to a technician because the current assignee is on vacation. Simply highlight the items in your view and select Assign To.
Whether a technician runs batch update or an individual workflow item is completely controllable via permissions. So you can restrict or allow access as needed.
And we all have repetitive tasks that we need to perform, but manually creating tickets for each task can be a burden. Now the Technician's Web Portal allows you to schedule tickets so you can set up your task once and then get automatically notified when it's time. So let's look at an incident. When opening items from a grid view, you'll notice several additional improvements there as well. With just a glance, you can tell exactly where you are in any process at any time through the use of the new graphical lifecycle feature.
You have full control over the stages and what statuses make up each stage. So if you have a custom process to implement, you have complete control.
You'll notice the action bar. We're given a slick new set of icons, which give the workflow an updated feel and makes it easier to quickly identify your selection. Workflow slide-outs have now replaced pop-ups to ensure you aren't battling and resizing multiple windows. Everything is now in one place, It's much cleaner and more organized, which ultimately improves productivity and increases usability.
Other notable functionality additions are the ability to merge persons and computers, viewing computer and device audit snapshots, managing reports, and several other performance enhancements.
So as you can see, the improved Technicians Web Portal will directly translate into efficiency and productivity for you and your team. Everything from dashboard refresh to the addition of profile pictures were done specifically with the intention of providing the best possible experience. We've put that same effort into improving your project management experience as well. If you've ever managed an IT project, you know they come with a long list of challenges. As a project leader, it can be difficult to ensure coordination among team members, to understand the status and relationship of open tasks, and of course, it's always challenging to deliver projects on time given the number of obstacles that can arise. Project team members handling individual tasks also face similar challenges, as it's easy to get lost in the shuffle of their everyday. In the new Navigator, we've greatly improved our project management offering specifically to tackle these challenges and more. We've implemented a new approach to task management, a Gantt chart to provide you with an insightful graphical approach, and full support of our powerful dashboards and flexible workflow. The Project Plan Wizard makes beginning new projects very simple. Simply type in your project name, plug in a few task names, and you can get started achieving great results right away.
If you perform department moves regularly or have recurring projects, you can easily create a template called Department Move Plan and avoid unnecessarily entering task information each and every time.
Once you've got your project plan created, you can schedule and assign projects, tasks at any time, or reorganize them as situations change. It looks like the screen may be frozen. So let's try to unshare and reshare. How's the screen now, everybody?
Looks great, Ed. Yeah, it looks good, Ed.
Awesome. Sorry about that. So again, as task work comes in, your Gantt chart automatically keeps you up to date. So you'll always be able to know how much time your project is taking up, whether it's completed, and whether you're ahead or behind schedule.
Notice the percentage bars inside the tasks in your Gantt chart. That give you a quick indication of how far along each task is.
And once your project is completed, you can easily perform a postmortem and recognize your team's success as well as areas of improvement for next time. To get an even deeper understanding of your projects, you'll want to check out our new project management dashboard. Here, you'll immediately understand your project success rate, how individual project managers are faring, and which project team members are starting their tasks late or on time.
There are several hundred out-of-the-box widgets in Navigator, and with over 10 different dashboard widget types to choose from, including charts, tables, and counters, and no limits to how many more you can create. Personalizing this project management dashboard to your exact needs is absolutely possible.
The new Navigator's project management will certainly give you a deeper insight and greater control over your projects so you can meet your deadlines, save on resources, and recognize the pitfalls of managing IT projects before they happen. Just as with project management, visibility is also essential when it comes to your network and all of its various components. IT networks can be complex, so without the ability to visualize them, it's extremely challenging to understand their makeup. What devices are connected to which switch? Are devices connected the way you expect them to be? Are there any critical dependencies you should be aware of? These are all questions that can be easily answered by Navigator's diagram feature. But first, when you audit a switch, you'll automatically receive information on every individual port of that switch. This way, you'll know what devices. Oh, looks like we're still on the project management screen again.
No, Ed, we were, okay, yeah, it's fine. Go ahead and reshare it. We'll see.
Yep. There we go. Okay. So again, when you audit a switch, you'll automatically receive information on every individual port for that switch. This way you'll know what devices are connected, which ports they are using, and if there's any available space on that switch. This way, this can be extremely useful when tracking down issues or just understanding how your switches are being utilized. But this information becomes even more valuable when you see your network graphically. And as you can see, the network diagram gives you the ability to visualize every device on your network to ensure you fully recognize interconnectivity. You can then better plan infrastructure projects and also highlight dependencies for those unfortunate situations when hardware fails. Imagine how much easier those IT infrastructure projects will become now that you'll know the impact ahead of time.
The diagram will automatically distinguish between virtual and non-virtual devices by showing different line colors, so you can easily see hosts and virtual machines running on them. Also, you can change the picture in the diagram's background to anything you'd like. Maybe it would be useful to place a Visio floor plan behind the diagram, and then move around your devices to show actual physical locations.
Having a diagram of your network on hand is a tremendous value no IT team should be without. It provides multiple points of data to be used for planning and executing projects, and acts as a foundational part of troubleshooting technical situations as they arise. No doubt this will be a great tool to add to your IT tool belt. So as you can see, the new Navigator has a tremendous amount to offer, and we really haven't even scratched the surface yet. The web portal has tons of usability improvements and many new features like batch update and recurrent tickets. There's a new and improved task management, Gantt charts to help you visualize your projects, full mobile support for iOS and Android devices, complete with push notifications, and a network diagram so you have full visibility of your infrastructure. There are so many items we haven't yet mentioned, such as being able to know what your self-service portal users are searching for, so you can then improve your knowledge base. The ability to detect Windows Store apps, license compliance for core models, the ability to prevent data exports, sending Outlook calendar invites, and more. No doubt, we've made some massive improvements to Alloy Navigator that will have positive effects on the way you and your team provide service. And that's what it's really all about. So with that said, let's begin our Q&A session. If you are staying, please send all your questions our way. If you're dropping off, we would like to thank you for joining. And if you think of any questions later on, send them over at any time. And as a reminder, this webinar will be available for replay, which you will receive an email message once it is available. So again, for those staying, if you look in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see a message box where you can send us feedback. Feel free to send us any comments, questions, or feature requests you might have, and we'll do our best to answer them. So Corey and I will now turn on our camera so you can see us again. Okay. So let's look for okay. So Tom asks, can you export these diagrams to Visio?
So you can definitely export the diagrams to multiple different formats. I myself haven't tested exporting it into Visio as of yet, but that is something that that we'll definitely look into. But absolutely, you can export it into PDF, Excel, etc. So I have no doubt that that if we try, we can definitely get into Visio as well.
Thank you, Corey. Martin asks, can you comment on Navigator Express? Will it be updated as well? And are there any new features listed for it? So Martin, the interface will have a very similar update. It will have great improvements just like Navigator Enterprise has. And once we do have a finalized list for all of the Navigator Express improvements, we will have a similar webinar to showcase all of those improvements as well. Have we planned to create an app for our users?
Oh, sure. So a end user supported app is definitely in the pipeline for production. With this particular piece, as we explained, you will have a app dedicated for the technician. So the push notifications and things of that nature will first be deployed for the technicians, and then we'll take care of the end user side of things at some point in the future. We do have a feature request in the pipeline, so it is something that's going to be in the works relatively soon.
Thank you, Corey. Ella asks, you said export of data can be restricted. How is that controlled?
Sure. So the ability to export the grid views and the run reports is controlled by the technician's role. So if your role doesn't have access to exporting or running reports, you won't be able to export any data from Alloy.
Thanks, Corey. Christian asks, when do we get to download version 8.4? And Christian, very soon. We are in the final stages of polishing everything up. And before we do release the version, we will reach out to you to let you know it's coming. And when it is released, we'll reach out to you again so you are good to go to download. Don asks, do we have the ability to show a widget into a corporate intranet site like iFrame or something like that?
So you would be able to integrate with the web portal, provided, of course, that you are logged in. And I think the best approach to publishing the dashboard widgets would be just as Ed had indicated, to put it up on a standalone screen or monitor and have it automatically refresh in that format.
Thanks, Corey. Paul asks, how does the push notification get configured?
So the push notifications work very similar to the way that the email notifications are configured right now. So if you're familiar with this, with the administrative side of things, with a few clicks of the button, you can create an email notification to go out to your requesters, your assignees, and etc. And the push notifications will work the same way.
Great. And Paul also asked, is there anything specific I need to do to get switch port information?
No, the application, as long as the SNMP Discovery is enabled on the switch, Alloy Discovery will be able to access the routers and your switches and be able to determine exactly what's connected to which port.
Thanks, Corey. Ron asked, is it reasonable to think a technician would use the portal 100% of the time and not the Windows client?
Oh, absolutely, Ron. You're with the improvements to the tech portal. You won't have to use the web client for your day-to-day, as you did traditionally before. You needed the web client. I mean, the Windows client a lot, but I don't even use it in my day-to-day any longer. So I have no doubt that your technicians will be just fine with using the web client. They won't have to install anything. Upgrades are seamless for them as it doesn't require the installation. So they just hit refresh on their browser and they're in the new instance. So yeah, I think your technicians can ditch the the Windows client and use the web client exclusively.
Thanks. And Eric also asked, when is the Android Technicians application going to be available? And this will be available in October as soon as 8.4 is released. So once we release this, it will also release to the Android store and to the Apple store. Okay, Tom asks, if upgrading from a previous version, such as version 7, can you go straight to 8.4 or do you have to upgrade to prior versions?
Oh no, you can go straight into 8.4. So yeah, upgrading to 8.4 doesn't require that you go into 8.01 or 8.24, 8.25. None of those previous versions matter. You can go straight from 7 into 8.4. No problem.
Thank you. Are all of these features available in the desktop version as well?
Not all of the features will be made available in the desktop version. We focused on improving the web offering quite a bit, as not only was it asked a lot, but it's also becoming more and more of an industry standard. So we focused on bringing that closer to the web, to the Windows client. But also we found it a lot easier to add a lot of really, really cool features like the chevrons that will be exclusive to the web portal.
Thank you, Corey. Can you delete items via the web client?
Oh yeah, yep, absolutely. There's going to be an actions button that's constantly available for you while you're clicking through and utilizing the different grid views. So as you're working through the grid views, you can click this action button, and not only can you delete items using that action button, but you'll be able to update the records. Execute your workflow through this action button. So all of that'll be handled, and it'll all kind of stay stamped right there, ready for you to use.
Thank you, Corey. Eric asks, what ticket classes will the mobile app support?
Currently, the mobile app will support incidents and work orders. We will be obviously expanding that to include the other areas of the system, but in its first iteration, that's going to be what it supports: incidents, work orders, and I believe you'd be able to configure announcements through there as well.
Thank you. Christian asks, will the projects and related tasks be available to be accessed via the web API?
Oh, absolutely. The entire product is open to the API. So any web request that you send to the API, it'll be able to run workflow just as if you were running it from within the client. So if this is, project or task related workflow that you'd like to execute, yeah, sure thing.
And Don asks, is Discovery headed to the web portal?
Great question. We are working on a web platform for Discovery. That one isn't quite as far along as the Navigator offering, but that is something that we are actively developing.
Thank you, Corey. So are there any other questions we can answer for you all? Okay, great. So thank you all for all of your great quotes.
Oh, we got one
We
more
got
from
one
Eric.
more, Eric.
Yep. Thanks, Don.
Okay. Are we going to kill the console in time?
I think that's gonna go in terms of with demand. So if there is a demand for console related features and things of that nature, I'm sorry, Ed, can you guys hear me, y'all? Can you hear me okay, Ed?
I can. Yep.
All right. So yes, I think that's gonna go. I think that's gonna go with demand. If there is a demand for the console, then obviously we'll begin to add features to it. However, the web client is kind of what's been in high demand. So that's kind of what we've shifted focus for.
Thanks, Corey. And last question by Eric. Does the network map show computers and the related hardware attached?
So with regards to that, it will display the computers and their relationships to the routers and switches that they're connected to. So that's one relationship that will be displayed. And any other relationship that you need to bridge, you can actually manually um, apply those relationships directly in the diagram. So when we were talking about the configuration and perhaps including a background of your office location, you could, put your printers there and draw lines from your printers to your workstations that are connected to them.
Thank you, Corey. Does the web portal work on any browser?
Oh yes, it does. As long as it's a more recent version of the browser, then you should be good to go.
Okay. So again, thank you all for your great questions. And as a reminder, if you think of any questions later on, send them over at any time. And again, this webinar will be available for replay within the next 24 hours. So please be on the lookout for any additional webinars. And please have a great rest of your Wednesday.